Hey, Shalom, Shalom, on the start of souls, but giving no praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kal Kodash, that belongs to the Apostle of Great Most High, and honestly, brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh, that's the real name of whom the world ignorantly calls God. Jehovah Yahweh, his real name is Yahweh, and his son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Ha meaning in, Ba meaning in, Ha meaning the, Shah meaning names. So Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Just a quick one. Don't have a lot. It was just something that I observed here. Right. So at first I first observed it here. Right. This is from way back when, 27th of September. It's a fuel supply UK suspends competition law to get petrol to forecourts, and one of the things that I saw here, right, it says this is the only reason we don't have petrol on forecourts is people are buying petrol when they don't need it, basically blaming the people, right? An interesting one here says, but ministers said there were no plans to bring in the army to drive tankers. Fast forward to yesterday. What's today? Today is Tuesday, so yesterday, Monday, that's exactly what happened. And the army started being called in, drafted in to start to drive some tankers. Okay. But then yesterday, also one thing that I saw is the Biden administration blames high food prices on pandemic profiteering in the meat industry and aims to prosecute poultry conglomerates for price fixing, wage fixing, and other antitrust infractions. Right? Basically, a thing of, well, it's your fault. Right? So in both of these instances, we've seen a case of, look, this is your fault, not the fact that this system is being systematically imploded, right? It's got nothing to do with that, according to, if you believe any of these articles, believe any of these politicians, right? It's because of you, the people, right? And you can already see how we'll end up in a state where everyone is basically cold one against another, right? This is Isaiah 19:2, and thou said the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, and city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And so you've been seeing the divisions have been sowed, throughout the world for different causes, for different reasons, right? This is on purpose, right? And those of us in the know, those of us that the Lord hath blessed with knowledge, are very much aware of what's going on. This is Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Right. So, this knowledge, this wisdom, knowing what's going to happen, knowing these prophecies, that allows us to be aware of, these different situations that we end up in. Right. So the fact that Esau's got everyone, set up to fight one against another, right, that is that's something that we're aware of and that we're expecting, right? I'm thinking of the one in Matthew, but I forgot the wording escapes me. Basically, it's almost like, it's on the tip of your tongue. Basically speaks about how people aren't going to be loving one to another. Like, people say, oh, this is my neighbor, yeah, we're great neighbors. No. In the times to come, it's going to be none of that, right? Because once again, what's one thing that is being fermented, these famines, right? It's the second Ezra's 15, right, and 19. Says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but he shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right. So once again, right now, everyone likes to talk about, oh, I'm great neighbor, this, that, and the other, but in the times to come, man, people are gonna get cold. This is the one that I was thinking of. It's Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, and people are getting cold, more and more cold, one to another. For instance, someone that brothers depending on, when you first started coming into this, will be, a name that will ring a bell. Tom Likas, used to do videos on, oh yeah, about women and this, that, and the other. But you see him now when it comes to this pestilence. This man's moving hella cold. Remember one time, would you call it? It was reported that he had a child, a young baby that was basically died of the pestilence, and then, his was like, yeah, good, that's one less trumper, or whatever, what have you. And then recently, he did it again, and basically was like, basically hoping that the same would happen to, basically the people that reported a death in relation to the current pestilence, right? And that's that coldness, the fact that people will be like, oh, what, he died of the thing, oh, but did he have the juice? Oh, he didn't have the juice, well, he deserved it, right? That is cold, that is callous, right? And that is exactly the world that we're going into. Why? Because it has been designed that way, right? And once again, these statements, these sentiments, right, are exactly what these elites want. This idea that, no, it's your fault, you over there, it's your fault that we're in this mess. Not the fact that they're the ones creating the mess, the fact that, no, it's you, right? So for instance, when you had, even my driving instructor was saying, it's like all of these numpties, panic buying the fuel, this, that, and the other, right? He was basically blaming them, not blaming the fact that this kingdom is coming to an end, right? He's none the wiser that this is happening, okay? But these are the times that we're coming into, and once again, Kala Yabashim Ashad, that we have an understanding of exactly what's going on right now, because the rest of the people in this world don't. Right? They're just sitting ducks, waiting to be consumed. Right. So like I said, it didn't have much. But yeah, just wanted to, to share that. So as always, laws, all those that are defined, and till the next time we say shalom.